We were having such a good stream.
Maybe you ordered it from a fast food place.
Seriously.
You know.
I got to stop getting my computers from Raising Cane's. If you're going to eat chicken again, that you should eat it.
Yeah, Raising Cane's.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good.
Right.
So there you go. What were we even talking about?
PlayStation Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
he picked it up.
We were talking about PlayStation Classic. That's what it was. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
You were talking crap on PlayStation Classic, and the
Shuhei's like, kill the feed.
The powers that be stepped in.
Was Twisted Metal on there, or was it not?
Twisted Metal 1 was on there.
Oh, cool.
Which, no, not cool.
No,
I mean, well, cool for the time.
Yeah.
But, again, I don't know. Again, it is... Having been at a company like Sony and literally having been at Sony, it's frustrating to be in Sony and hear all of the backseat drivers because it's like Sony wouldn't have gotten to where Sony is if they were stupid. They're not fucking stupid. There's a reason they make these decisions, right? But as an outside observer, I certainly look at that and go, why the fuck would you put Twisted Metal 1
instead of
on PlayStation 1? Not because I'm not proud of it, but because it's aged incredibly poorly. And Twisted Metal 2, as antiquated as it is, still holds up. And you would think that, you know, they're going to want to put games on their launch system that are really going to be fun to make it successful. But instead, it's like the only reason to go back and play Twisted Metal 1 right now is sort of almost like as a museum piece if you're a fan of that franchise. So
yeah, that's how I felt about the PlayStation Classic. I got one, and I felt like it was a lot of fun to just kind of touch in on all these things. Oh, remember that? Oh, remember remember that? Yeah, okay. And that was the enjoyment I got out of it, and that was about it. And I feel like if that had come out at like $40 or $50, I would have recommended it to people. Still, you know, like, hey, you know what? Pick it up and just kind of like check in on these games you haven't looked at.
That's how much it is now.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, exactly. It was but at 100, it was hard to recommend. But yeah, that is funny how it fell that quick. Yeah, I've been seeing it for like 53 on Amazon. But anyway, we were going to try to take some calls.
Yeah, it looks like we just had a fresh call pop in on the bottom left above our Mega 64 icon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. On the bottom stack.
All right.
There.
We're going to take some calls. Call in on our Discord.
Got Warren here.
Warren.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Warren?
Hey.
Oh, hey. Thanks for picking up. I didn't think I was going to get through. I was wondering, have you guys ever gambled on a fart and lost?
Gambled on a fart and lost. Ooh.
I think once in like 6th grade I did, and that really sucked. Yeah. I had to wait till the end of this day.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Back home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't have a goddamn clue what he's talking about.
Gambled on a fart and lost, meaning like you think you could maybe like sneak one by and it ends up. Now, are you talking about maybe you think you could sneak one in a public setting, but then it turns out
louder?
It turns out louder, or are you talking about you gamble on it and you like shit your pants?
Yeah, you think it's a dry run, but you go in wet. It's
what? Say that again.
You think it's a dry run? It's going to be a normal fart, but there's a trace of.
That's only happened to me once when I was really sick. Like I was really sick somewhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hurting, and maybe I'll just, okay, and this will just be a silent thing off in the corner, and it was like, oh no, I have to go. That happened to me once. I was sick.
Were you able to save yourself, like go change, or were you in the
middle?
Yeah,
I was nearby. Yeah, I was. It worked out. It was okay.
There's a picture, and I don't know if it's fake, that shows Donald Trump on the golf course walking away with someone else, and the back of his pants is it's clearly he's sharded. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this photo?
I haven't.
No, I don't.
And I only saw it recently, and I was like, I assume that is fake, because if it was real, it probably would have gotten a lot more traction.
Yeah,
it looked fucking real. It looked like. To what's this fella's name? Warren's point. He gambled, sir, and he lost badly.
Yeah, there you go.
The president himself lost badly.
So there you have it, Frank.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much. I just really want to know. Thank you.
Warren.
Yeah.
How long were you waiting for this call, sir?
Good couple of hours.
Are you joking? Are you joking?
No, I mean, it's been a few weeks,
sat
actually.
on the phone.
This is the first time I got through.
For a couple of hours to ask that question.
Oh, man.
I mean,
don't
realistically,
be ashamed of therapy, Warren. Everybody needs it at some point in their life. I've been in it since I was fucking 20. Get to the therapist, sir.
Take care, Warren.
Take care, sir.
I'm just curious. Thank you.
Okay.
Peace.
I'm glad he got.
I love you,
that
Warren.
in there.
I mean, I'm just worried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk to. I just lost it, but we'll get back. We'll get back to it. Call us on our Discord here. We're just talking about. We'll answer any question.
Yeah.
here.
Start a video call with us, and that's how we'll find you.
Oh, you can do video calls?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. That's
I
great.
just had.
Yeah. Someone
somebody
popped
in
up for a second. Try again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
clicked the wrong thing. But this now.
Oh, there
it
you go.
is.
Oh, yeah. So it is different. Interesting.
It really is weird.
We'll figure it out. Hey, welcome.
Dragovic.
Hey, hello guys, what's up?
Is it Dragovic or Dragovich?
Dragovchich.
What is it?
Dragovchich. Dragovcic.
Whoa, Dragovich.
Well, my real name is, but like
Yeah.
it's like my gamer tag version, where the hell it was back when I was in middle school.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, now we know. Well, anyway, thank you for your call. What did you do? What's the point of this call?
Well,
wait, hold on.
yeah.
I should initiate. David, when we take calls, we don't say, like, what would you like to ask? The question there is, what's the point of this call?
That's brilliant,
Which may
actually.
sound maybe sound rude if you don't know. But
No, because you have to get right to the point. They'll ramble,
Yeah.
and the rest of the chat will tune out.
it was a few years ago. Garrett, we took a call, and Garrett, in the most rude way possible, said, "What's the point of this call?" I
love it.
and we embraced it forever.
Yeah.
I have a GIF of Daniel LaRusso doing the crane kick to Johnny in Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
And I play that whenever everybody's like rambling, and I just kick him off the phone. Because it's just like, dude, enough. Get to the point. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So what's the point of this call?
Well, I just wanted to ask David. I'm a graphic designer about to be out in 4 months, hopefully in the world and everything. And as a creative who just kind of, like, back when you were first starting out, or like, what would you want to tell yourself now that you know now in your age, back when you were first starting out and creating and like going out in the world and making like just any sort of art or video games in your case? I know it's a big question, so.
I mean, it's not just, it's an important question because I mean, I take it very seriously. I mean, I think ultimately the thing I will tell you, you will hear, a lot of people say it who do creative work. I'm sure you feel it as well. Everybody's got a little voice inside. I think you just have to keep listening to the voice. The voice told me to get into video games. The voice right now is telling me to get into streaming and do streaming. So I've been really fortunate that I was raised by parents and I had, media role models that made it clear to me that voice is a good thing. That's a good North Star to listen to and tune into and learn how to get good listening to. And so but what I would tell myself to do different, to be perfectly frank, I would tell myself to go into business and video games earlier for myself than I did, because I read an article the other day that both creative types and scientists, believe it or not, and fine art painters, they did a study that you have about 6 to 9 years of what they call in the study a hot streak. And in that hot streak, you are dialed into the zeitgeist, you are connected with the audience. It's not that you can do no wrong, but your sensibilities perfectly match the sensibilities of the people that you're entertaining. And I did all that work when I was working for Sony, and Sony treated me beautifully and wonderfully and generously and all that. But if I would have done that work and had the balls to be on my own, and to have my own company or be part of a team that had their own company, even though I've done really well so far financially because Sony's a wonderfully generous company when I worked for them, I would have never had to work another day in my life if I would have sort of had the guts to go out at the beginning or within the first 5 years and start my own company. Instead, I waited, and by the time I started my own company, my sensibilities were no longer as connected to the core gamer sensibilities. So that's probably what I would tell myself to do differently.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's, oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot, but I really
Fuck,
appreciate
you think
it.
you're calling.
No. I mean,
Here's what you'd get anywhere else, sir. Dude, follow your dreams, man. Yeah, fucking make it happen. Grab that fucking bull by the horns, motherfucker. And you know what? You'd hang up the call and nothing would get done. Nothing would get done. But truthfully speaking, listen to the voice, man. Listen to the voice.
No, I can understand that, because there's definitely we've been doing Mega 64 and running our own company essentially for a long time, and since it's been like over 15 years now. So, and I'm very happy about that. But there are certain moves even within that I do have that feeling too. Sometimes where it's like, there were times where, maybe we could have brought our show to this or pitched our show here, and maybe I was, I do have thoughts sometimes of like maybe I spent a lot of my 20s really like just complacent in terms of like, I was really stoked with what we were doing, and I still am. I love what I do. But there were times where it's like, well, maybe I should have like enjoyed it less and just kind of like maybe like suffered a little bit more to maybe bring it here or there. You know what I mean? It just,
but you just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
I think back and I'm like, I wonder if we would be in a different place if I did that or that. But you never know. And again, like, we're doing our best, and I'm very happy with what I do. I couldn't be happier. But yeah, you think about stuff like that, and I guess I would bring that up to my younger self too. Like, hey, maybe try this other couple things. I know you're stoked this turned out, but try these other couple things, see how that goes. I guess that's what I would do. So I can speak to that. Yeah.
Right on. That was actually really good. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Have you ever gambled on a fart and lost?
I did. It was also in middle school. We were having an assembly.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll the assembly. I think we know what's next. Thank you very much for your call.
You're very welcome. Thank you, guys.
That was all we needed. You're at the assembly. Enough said. You know what I mean? Like better.
Keep going up that list.
Yeah.
Awesome. You figured it out.
Okay, let's talk to. Is it Juzo, Jazo, Jazo? It looks like they're muted.
Yeah, it looks like they muted their own mic.
Well, if you're going to call in, I would recommend not muting yourself. But that's.
Oh, wait, I'm picking something up. Telepathy. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Juzo, you naughty fuck. Come on.
Oh, man. Why would you think that?
Don't do that.
Okay, let's talk to Rookmang.
What up?
Is that what it is? Rookmang?
Rook, yeah, like the Siege character.
The what character?
Oh, Rook. Rook's a character in Rainbow Six Siege. You can drop down armor for his allies.
Okay. Oh, okay. Anyway, what's up? What's the point?
Yo, gang, has any movie or franchise really messed your head up in the last year? Because that's really where I came to the internet in the past year.
Say that
Has any movie or franchise messed you up in the head?
Yeah, in the past year that you've not expected that would. Because that's what has brought me to the internet.
What does that mean? Brought him to the internet.
I don't know. The most recent thing that I saw that actually like messed with me and I was like was I never saw Mulholland Drive until about like a year or two ago, and then when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's very rare nowadays that I watch a movie and then immediately start it back over, and that I did. Like I saw it again like a year or two ago, and I was like, oh yeah. But that's, it's not like that just came out. So, I don't know. What about you guys? Anything?
I mean, there have been movies that affected me, but I wouldn't say anything messed me up,
Yeah, messed you up. I don't know.
The last
for me,
movie
it was
that messed me
seeing
up was called
Star Wars,
New York.
Predator.
You saw that
Yes.
movie?
I never saw it.
I was depressed for about 2 weeks after that movie. I was.
Yeah.
It was super depressing.
Yeah. So
Good look.
What?
Captain Hogwatch. Have you seen Terrifier?
What's Terrifier?
No.
Oh my God, it's on Netflix. It is
What is
it
that?
is a low budget fucking horror movie.
Oh, nice.
With this guy called Art the Clown. I'm not shitting you. And,
I've seen the cover for that.
And
What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah. Okay.
And look at that fucking thing. Put that fucking, so you would just think whatever, and the trailers whatever. This motherfucker is the next generation of slashers. He is surprising. He doesn't speak at all. It's surreal as fuck. Highly recommend Terrifier. It's on Netflix right now. That didn't fuck me up, but it made me super fucking happy as a horror fan.
Cool.
Damn.
That sounds sick. Cool.
All right. Well, there you go, Rookmang.
Thanks, gang.
Thank you. Take care.
The house that Jack built, which was Lars von Trier's serial killer film, that was like, they kill kids on screen. Like that's like the most like shocking thing of it. But that movie is crazy because it starts serial killer event by event, and then it gets really surreal, like Lynchian by the end.
Oh, okay.
And that I remember I came home and I talked to Brian for like 2 hours about how that movie like spoke to me. Like
Yeah.
it's very indulgent, but really, really cool. It just talks about being gutsy with your art but also being terrified to make art because what you're putting out there is so terrifying, but being supported by it no matter what. Like
Yeah.
Lars von
It's fiction, right?
Yeah, it's fiction, but Lars von Trier kind of uses it to talk about his career. Like, all right, Antichrist, we show this like a woman cutting her clitoris off. Okay, I'm celebrated. That wasn't too much. Okay, my next movie, Nymphomaniac, it's just sex for 4 hours. Oh, I'm celebrated. Okay, I'm gonna kill kids on screen. I'm still being celebrated. Guys, stop me. What am I gonna do? Like, that's kind of what the message is. Like the serial killer gets crazier and bigger. And that film kind of spoke to me of just like, don't be afraid to make shit. Go for it. It's weird to like pull that message out of a serial killer film, but that's what the film kind of wrestles with: serial killing and also making art. It's a trip. It's a cool movie.
Does that kind of stuff bother you, David? Like, like if a movie, like a kid dies in the movie, or like you have kids, so like, does that kind of media bother you? Like, I remember when
bother me in what way?
I remember when the trailer for Dead Island came out. Remember that game, and the trailer had like a little girl dies or whatever.
That trailer bothered me for a very different reason.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It really did, and I was so fucking pissed because all the fucking media.
Yeah.
That was when I was starting to see the cracks in the veneer of the mainstream video game media.
Oh, really?
It's just like, this thing, it looks so fucking great. Looks so fucking great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are aware this is a pre-rendered trailer.
Yeah.
And this trailer
I felt the
is
same way.
evoking emotional aspects that I guarantee you are not in this zombie killing game.
There's no way that game, as soon as I saw that, I was like, this game is going to blow because they're never going to reach that point in emotion in it.
They didn't even
It's
try
like,
to.
they're never going to get to where this trailer is.
Yeah.
I loved that trailer. I love the music and everything like that. I never even thought about buying the game after that trailer.
No,
Yeah.
it's like it had nothing to do with the game.
Yep.
It's like showing the trailer for Inglourious Bastards and you're advertising Space Invaders.
Exactly.
You're like, what the fuck is this? But kids, though, I mean, like I saw Bird Box recently, and like when the little kid falls out of the boat in the water in Bird Box and shit.
Yeah.
Because I have kids now, there is a internal, just biological, primal desire to it really guts you, but it doesn't affect me in the sense that I'm like, oh, they should make movies like that.
Well,
now.
no, but it isn't anything like I can't watch this or anything.
Oh, no, I love to have my buttons pushed when I can. I won't watch like dark web shit. I don't want to see like stuff like that. But in terms of movies and stuff, the more I can see stuff that is out beyond the borders of what normal is.
Okay.
I enjoy that a great deal.
Like out of your comfort zone kind of thing.
Yeah, because I want to be shocked. I want to feel something. I just need to feel something.
Because I know some people that like once they had like a daughter, it was like, oh, I don't want to watch that scene, man. I don't want to watch. I don't want to play Last of Us, or whatever. And I don't. It's not real, guys. Come on. I know more about you. I'm not a parent, but I know more than you. I'm sorry.
Still know what the second half of was. He brought him to the internet.
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
There you go.
Jozo.
What up?
Hello.
We're trying
Mr.
it again.
Jaffe.
The psychic thing didn't work out, so you're gonna have to speak.
Yeah. So, Mr. Jaffe, I really enjoyed Twisted Metal 1 when I was really small, and in the past few years, I found out that you had like live action endings. So could you please tell the story behind those?
Yes. I mean, you can actually still see them on YouTube. They were, we made live action endings for Warhawk and we made live action endings for Twisted Metal. And it was basically, still in that area of Sega CD. And I originally wanted to come out to LA and be a film director. And I was like, shit, you mean I can convince Sony to give me $100,000 to go make some fucking live action movies? And they did. And they were awful and they were cheesy and they were horrible. But I will tell you that, I think they add to the first Twisted Metal. The guys out in Utah, which it's a theme here, wonderfully talented developers, but kind of religious, a number of them. And they were kind of offended by the TNA in the movies. And so we said, well, let's bring a focus group in. And Sony brought a focus group in. And all of the focus group kids were like, not kids, but whatever. They were basically saying, these are so cheesy, but they're so much fun. Yeah. And so I figured, okay, great. I got my movies in Twisted Metal. And the guys out in Utah, or at least some of them, were just like, look, we don't really care. We're very religious. We're going to stop working on this game and not deliver you your product if you force me to put a game out that I've worked for a year on that has such lewd aspects to the stories.
Wow.
So they ended up getting cut. I was very upset at the time. They've kind of found a new life on YouTube, and that's kind of the story.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah. The only other game I know at the time that I love is like Resident Evil 1 also has super cheesy live action openings, but I love it.
Yeah, and even that's super censored as well.
Really?
It's really hard to get a copy of the game that actually has it in color because it's all in black and white pretty much because of blood regulations and
it's
stuff.
Like a low budget B horror movie.
There's a lot of stuff they cut from it. I think like the Japanese or like there's a European version that has it uncut and in color.
Damn.
What is your David? What is like your favorite like video game you've ever played, not your own? Because I feel like that's not fair. You know,
that doesn't really exist. I have a series of them, right?
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I have GoldenEye,
Final Fantasy 1 through 15.
No, not at all. But like GoldenEye and Chrono Trigger and Gyrus and Time Pilot, and there's a game on the Apple called Mask of the Sun, and Eco is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
Hearthstone's one of my favorite games of all time. Although now that Activision has come in and basically said "fuck you, Blizzard," I could tell about 4 months ago the balance in that game was getting fucked. And now it's all making sense to me personally. But anyway, so I have probably about 15 games that really bring me consistent joy. Miss Pac-Man, I mean, it ranges from like early days of arcade all the way up into a couple of years ago.
I'm with you on Chrono Trigger would be like one of my top 3 or top 5 favorite games. But then thinking about Super Nintendo, that just reminded me, you worked on Mickey Mania, didn't you?
That was the first game I did.
Holy shit.
I totally forgot about that until right now. Wow. Yep. I remember that was a game I saved up for. I was like, okay, that's looking tight. Because I loved all those.
Well, here's a great example of the guy called in and said, "What would you do different?"
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked for Sony. Mickey Mania came out, totally tanked.
That tanked, really?
Totally tanked.
I always thought
why
that was
it tanked?
Like,
Guess what? It came out the same goddamn day as Earthworm Jim and Donkey Kong Country 3D.
I was about to ask about Donkey Kong Country because I remember it being around that time.
Right. Ooh. Okay. But ultimately, the guys who went in, who were the developers of it in England at Traveler's Tales, they're like, "Oh well, we don't care. We're going to go do this stupid little thing called Lego." And those guys are like fucking living the high life now because they sold their company after making tons of Legos games. And it's one of those things like, Jaffe, you moron, get out of your fucking safe space, you know. But anyway.
Well, yeah, you know, come to think of it, I remember now that I think about it, way back when I got Donkey Kong Country like right when it came out. I did, but I was excited about Mickey Mania, but I think I had to wait for Christmas for that or something like that.
Right.
There was something I had to wait for because obviously I was a kid at that point. I had no money at that point. So I had to wait. So maybe I contributed to why I didn't have a strong opening. Maybe. But I felt like everyone I know got it. Like just personally, I felt like everyone I know picked it up.
Honestly, it was a mismatch. The game was tuned way too fucking hard.
It was hard, yeah.
For the audience, which ultimately was basically 4 to 7 year old boys at the time. And most kids above the age of 7 did not want to be associated with Mickey Mouse. They wanted to be associated with Donkey Kong or Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
So we thought back when it was Sony, we were like, we got the fucking best franchise license in the world. Let's go fucking rule the roost. And it's like, nobody gives a shit about Mickey Mouse anymore. So...
Yeah, how funny. When as a kid, I was just talking about it on our stream last night.
Yeah, we played
Man, I loved, all I was about as a kid was colorful, bright, colorful game. You know what I mean? Like when a lot of my friends were getting into like Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, I just had no interest in that. I wanted like vivid, colorful games. I wanted Yoshi's Island. I wanted Mickey Mania.
That's one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island's one of the
Love
best
that
fucking
game.
games ever. Yeah.
You know, so stuff like that. But so I liked. There it is. I'm gonna say it. I liked Mickey Mania. It's been said. There you go. Thank you, Jizo. Wait, did he ask a question? What was the question they asked? Oh, it was
about the.
That's right.
Okay,
that was a good question.
That was.
Thank you very much.
So, whoop whoop! Shout out Juggalo Nation. See you at the gathering.
See ya.
Okay. I don't know if that wasn't appropriate, but we'll let it slide. Okay, we're talking to Garrod.
Hello.
Yo.
Garrett.
Hi there. Hi, how's it going? I got a question for David about game development. Bit of a weird one, really. So, like for example, with games like with Blizzard, for example, when they're designing characters with sex appeal, how do you discuss that in the office while it being safe for work? It's just a question that's always been on my mind, really. How would you get that across in the correct way?
So yeah, basically, did you ever gamble on a fart and then lose? Like
yeah.
No.
Is it a hard one to answer?
No, I'm just trying to make sure I understand the question. You're saying how, in the context of making a game that has sexuality, do we talk about it in the office without it crossing the line?
So so without getting a lawsuit on you, but having
because it's very fucking okay. Fuck you, Wrath. Wrath says he just realized Jaffe looks like a shaved Melissa McCarthy. Fuck you, okay? Anyway, the point, I'm going to reach through this fucking screen.
That guy's been talking crap this whole...
He always does. He comes to my stream.
Oh, really?
I think he masturbates every time he gets a rise out of me. It's the
oh, there it is. Classic case.
But what I will tell you, though, is when the product is the product, it's not harassment, right? If you come into a team and it's like, look, with God of War, it's like we're making a game that harkens back to classic Heavy Metal magazine or Heavy Metal the movie, which is very R-rated. We made it very clear up front. It was going to be a lot of violence. We were going to be sexual with the men and the women. At that point, you're discussing the product. That's very different. It's different than going to an artist and saying, I really think the Oracle's breasts, something just looks really weird about them. I think it may be the fact that you've got this translucent sheer night negligee on her. Maybe we try taking that off because it's kind of creating a glare on the nipples. I mean, it's very technical at that point. If you suddenly say that, you're fine. But then if you turn to, let's just say it's a woman next to you and put your hand on her shoulder and say, you look really good today, that is totally crossing the line. So I think it's very easy when it's about the product, as long as it's clear that the product is what it is, so no one's going to be surprised, it's not even an issue. You're like, look, that's what we're making. We're making a game that has nudity and sex and violence and, buyer beware, you know what you're signing up for. But that has nothing to do with sexual harassment. It's totally irrelevant. They're not even related.
Yeah, I just hear horror stories, that's all. I just hear horror stories on the news about things being said, someone getting fired. I was just curious on how, as you said.
If somebody got fired and they did something inappropriate, I think that's great. But I don't think that has anything to do with the fact that that would be like saying, do the Mortal Kombat guys beat the fuck out of each other all the time? It's like, no, they're making a game that's about violence and fighting, but it doesn't mean in the parking lot they have a fight club. So I think they're very different things.
Okay, that's perfect. Thanks for your answer.
Yep.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Let's talk to Disciple of. I cannot.
Oh, I love him. He's so great. He's from Cincinnati.
Oh,
really?
You know
who
he's
of the Cincinnati Disciples of
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Disciple of Are you there?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm getting hyper. It's late.
No, I'm
What's the point? What is the point of this call?
It's Disciple of Despair. I don't know if you've ever played Heretic. It's an old DOS game.
I'm just in like Mario.
Anyways, first time caller here. Thanks for taking my call. I love you guys.
Thank you.
So lately there's been a lot of older franchises making a comeback, like Spyro Remastered, Crash Bandicoot Remastered. I was wondering if there's any franchises or old series that you would like to see make a comeback.
An old franchise. For me, I've said this before. I want an HD re-release of this, but if you want to resurrect the franchise, that's cool too. I feel like, where is Beautiful Joe?
Oh,
yeah.
Give us Beautiful Joe. That's what I want. Damn it, you big Beautiful Joe nut.
Me?
Yeah.
I played it. I didn't quite play it enough to care about it.
Okay.
I thought it was cool. I thought the character design was cool, but I couldn't really get into it.
I want a new Beautiful Joe. That's what I want. Damn it.
I would dig I'm so stoked to play Resident Evil 2. I'm gonna stream that after this, but I would love to see Dino Crisis if they want to take another crack at that.
Yeah.
I'll probably replay Dino Crisis 1 and 2 on a future stream. But man, that's so I love survival horror and that property's
that's
been
coming around though. I feel like I hear more and more people go like, where is that?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna happen at some point.
That'd be super cool.
Oh, you know what I was gonna say too though? We already brought it up. Chrono Trigger. Hey, it's been long enough. Give us a Chrono Trigger about those characters. Like today, they're all like adults. You know what I mean? Like where have they? Like pull a Tron Legacy. Like where have these guys been for 28 years? You know, or however long it's been. They did that with Golden Sun. Oh, they did do that.
Still waiting for Tomba 3.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
Or Clock Tower.
What's that?
That old survival horror Clock Tower. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Tower.
A lot of people would agree with that.
I still need to play that because Clock Tower 3 was directed by the same dude who did Battle Royale.
Oh.
They had like a film director direct that game.
Whoa.
So it's like, what the hell? I want to try that.
What about you guys, though? What do you think?
I want to see a decent Silent Hill.
Yeah.
That's been so dead for so long.
They need it.
That it needs to come back and actually be good instead of these other weird ones.
The HD collection was fucking garbage, man.
I don't. I'm reading your chat. I don't really. Even like Resident Evil, like I played the Resident Evil demo and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, am I going to buy it or am I not going to buy it? Because it's cool, but I've already done that. Like I've had, it felt very, I called it on my stream. It was like a grilled cheese sandwich. It was very comfort food gaming.
Yeah.
But I've like, okay, I've done that before. So there's not a lot of old franchises. I mean, if you're not talking gameplay, if you're just talking intellectual property, nothing that would, would I love to see somebody do something with, Bayou Billy? Yeah. Because I think that kind of, I had a game in development for a while. We were calling it Shit Kickers, and it was basically about that kind of walking tall, deep South,
that's awesome,
badass kind of dude who takes care of business in his pickup truck with his dog and his shotgun.
Yeah.
I think shit like that is really cool, but there's not like, I don't have like a game that I'm like, oh my God, I would love a remake of, GoldenEye or something. It's like, I played that. What's next? What's new? I don't really have those feelings like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the Condemned series?
Yeah. Cool.
I would love to see a third one of that because a lot of people say the second one was like crap, but I honestly enjoyed it as well as the first one. I thought the atmosphere was great. It was like just walking around Detroit basically as an FBI agent, and I just thought it was great.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who like those. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. But
hey, David, how do you feel about Twisted Metal Small Brawl?
Fine. I mean, I barely ever played it. It was originally an idea I had. You'll see this recurring. There's a theme here. So Twisted Metal Small Brawl was originally my design. It was RC Cars Twisted Metal, but it was based on Mad Magazine. So it was supposed to be more of a body kind of humorous thing. Like you were going to have like the plumber was fixing the sink and his butt crack was showing, and you could shoot a missile up his butt crack, and so or you could drive around the bathtub and the sexy mom was taking a bath, kind of like in that mosquito simulator car on the PS1. And then lo and behold, guess who developed it? Yep, Utah. And they basically were like, well, nobody wants this. Let's make it family friendly. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. And so I went to work on God of War, thank God. Yeah. And so I hear Twisted Metal Small Brawl is actually good, but I've never really even played it, so I couldn't tell you.
Man, Utah.
That's probably the one I clocked the most hours in, honestly.
A lot of people like it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, there you go.
Good question. Good question. Thank you so much.
I just love the petering out there. It's like,
This guy.
It's like a really bad date.
He lives in Utah, so.
Oh, so.
Anyway, Disciple of Desperate. Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
All right, let's talk to Road Floating Beanbag. Is that what it says?
Yo.
Floating beanbag. Hello?
They floated away.
Drifted downstream, never to be seen again.
We all float down here.
Goodbye, floating beanbag. Let's talk to Thrice. Oh, great band.
Yo.
You a big Thrice fan, David?
I don't know who that is.
You didn't. What was your favorite emo band?
Well, I only have. Well, okay, so this is how bad it is. So I literally have only heard my first My Chemical Romance song like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Because my daughter started playing it. She's 13 now. So I got into Katy Perry and Taylor Swift through my kids. They play going to school. And recently she started playing Panic at the Disco and My Chemical Romance. And I'm like, this shit's fucking awesome. They have that song Teenagers that I've never heard before. And I'm like, Teenagers is the best song ever written ever. So I think they're an emo band, right? My Chemical Romance? Yeah. So, but I don't know who Thrice is.
I listened to like the origin story. He said he had the idea to do My Chemical Romance when 9/11 happened. He was like, oh, I'm like a struggling animator. Fuck this. I just want to make something. And then that's when he started.
It doesn't get more emo than that.
Yeah. So there you go.
What's
what
up?
do you think, Thrice?
What up?
I got bad news for you. I don't actually listen to the band. The name doesn't
hell.
mean anything. MCR rules though.
Well, then what's
Yeah.
the point of this call then?
The point of the call is I have a question to ask.
Okay.
So I'm quite a bit younger than you guys, and you guys have been, in the video game scene for a lot longer, specifically David, as a developer. I was curious, with like the way that games have changed so much over the years in the way they're made, like the way they are profitable, all that stuff. Has it been like hard to adjust to change? Are some people in the scene kind of opposed to change, or do you have to welcome the change as it comes? So like, just like with new consoles coming out, new hardware, everything changing, like making new games, is it easy to adjust, or is it kind of difficult to have to relearn?
I think it depends on which discipline you're talking about. I think if you are a programmer specifically, or even more of a technical artist, that's sort of your bread and butter. That's the shit that you love. You love new hardware. You love being able to have a new, sort of field in which to run and play in. I think when you're a designer, it becomes a little more difficult because design is like writing or like telling a story. And whether you're telling a story on a giant IMAX screen in 3D or you're writing a poem, by hand in a notebook, you're still dealing with the storytelling fundamentals, right? And those don't really change. They change glacially, whereas technology changes every fucking day. And so I will tell you that the good programmers and the good artists are the ones that embrace that change, not because it's hard, but because they love that part of the business. It's like, holy shit, you mean I get this many more polygons to build a fucking car? Literally, Twisted Metal 1 vehicles, we could make a Twisted Metal 1 vehicle that was ship ready in about 3 days. And that included the model, the texture, the very limited animations. Now, on the last Twisted Metal, which was almost 10 years ago now, we were spending 2 or 3 months to make a fucking single car if you combined all the different disciplines that were required to do that, right? So those people who do that work love that. For me as a designer, it has been very difficult to change because ultimately, as I said earlier on the stream, my own sensibilities, I don't, how do I put this? I don't know if there's a difference in video games versus something like music or film or television, but like the games that come out these days that are everybody's hyped about, like, I don't give a fuck about Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't give a fuck, I appreciate it as a piece of software, like the level of ambition that went into it and the level of talent. But I'm fucking 47 years old. You think I want to sit there for 30 fucking hours and bathe my horse?
Oh, 30? Really? That's it? Just 30?
Like triple that.
Whatever, So there is a sense.
That was my whole Christmas break was like, I'm going to conquer this game. It's still not done. I felt like I'd spent every waking moment with that game. And
was it fun though? Is the question.
It was.
That's great.
But then at the very end, I went insane.
Right. Okay.
I was good, and then at the very end, it was just.
But I think design change for me, it has not been easy, and I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with it. But I'm always a genuine fella. At least I try my best to be. The idea of being my age and pretending, oh my God, I cannot wait to get home because there's new DLC for Zelda Breath of the Wild. I just don't feel that anymore. I get excited about games still, but they tend to be more interesting mechanics games that you might find on itch.io or something like Steam or a really neat indie game on PSN. Yeah. And so for me, change at the design level seems like it's a much harder thing to the point that for some of us, it may not be possible because it's more of the tip of the spear of the creative vision. And if you're not feeling what that mainstream audience is feeling, you can't fake that. The best thing to do is get out of the way and let somebody else run that ship for a while. And I think you have to be comfortable with that. I'm pretty comfortable with that, but I know a lot of people struggle with becoming less relevant in their creative connection to that specific audience. So it depends on the medium or it depends on the discipline.
What do you think, Thrice? What do you think about that?
That was pretty much exactly what I was hoping for. That was an awesome answer.
Why did you even fucking call then if you already knew what I was going to say?
Oh, yeah. See? That's what. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
He's doing the psychic
It
stuff.
was more eloquently put than I ever could.
What?
It was more eloquently put than I could have.
Well, so did you gamble on a fart and lose, or what happened?
No, never.
Well,
I've been close, but
goodbye.
This call's done.
Thanks, Thrice.
Thank you. We'll see if we got it.
Oh, Jared's
Go for. Are you good for a few more calls? I mean, is that cool? Or
I'm having fun.
Awesome.
All right.
As long as you want me.
This is awesome.
Okay. Now, what do you, Brian? This is a video call. You think we'll be okay? Yeah. Give it a shot.
Yeah, this is one of our friends.
Oh my god! He did green screen the other night too. This is great.
Hey,
wow.
what's up?
Look
Garrett
who
Cuso,
he's
Jared
sitting next
Cuso.
to. Of course, it's the pink and the yellow Ranger.
Wow, from the cockpit of the Megazord itself. That's pretty impressive.
Thanks.
How's it going, man?
Good. Glad to see you're having guests on the podcast.
Thank you.
I did have a question for all of you guys.
Sure.
Was there something that you guys got into as an adult that people say is for kids?
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Why are you even in the green screen? If you're not going to perform, if you're not going to pretend, you might as well be sitting on your toilet. Dude, you're in the fucking Power Rangers robot. Play the shit. Well, yeah.
Does the Red Ranger have a question?
Are you aware where you are?
I can dab.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, what are you doing? How much work did that take you to light it and get the green screen from Amazon and risk running a picture that you don't have the copyright to and let you?
Oh, sure. I can change the.
I like it.
I
Dude.
like
think
it.
you
I'm
should
just
keep
like
it.
it's a missed opportunity. Oh,
Here with
he's
us.
on the little barrel. He's on the barrel.
Holy shit.
Oh man, wow. He's right here. Can you make that full screen? As much as you can, whatever.
He's like Yoda in a robe. That's
Here,
awesome.
we got it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Excellent. All right. The council will now hear you
We got a
speak.
guest
Oh,
here.
that's great. We're set.
Hey, I'm here. I
Oh,
finally
dude,
made it.
dude, this is the new lineup right here.
It's like Oscar the Grouch coming out of the barrel.
Oh man.
Oh, this is great. Oh man,
All
classic.
right, well, I
dad.
apologize for derailing that, but it's just
No,
like, come
it's
on,
great.
sir. All right.
I like it.
What was the question? Yeah.
Oh, the question was: have you guys gotten into something as an adult that people will say it's still for kids? I've been doing that a lot
Never.
lately.
No, I'm just kidding. What?
I've been doing it a lot lately.
What did you get? What, like My Little Pony or something?
No, never. But
Like you're judging that you'll show up in the fucking anyway.
well, Power Rangers is cool. First of all,
Yeah, that's different. See,
Thanks
that's
for,
why.
thanks for letting me know.
but I got
want to
into
try to play cool in this situation, but David hasn't seen my office yet, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't.
Oh, mine.
okay.
Okay, so is there anything that we think that people make fun of that are for kids? Is that what you're asking?
No, like, did you ever get into anything that, like, right now, but people are saying, like, oh, that's for kids, but you, like, really enjoy it,
Like a recent thing.
Yeah, as an adult.
Yeah.
I mean, because like for me, it was like I really got into it wasn't until my like mid-20s that I really got into the history of like Disneyland and stuff. Because everyone was always like, "Oh, do you just go there because you have a child, nostalgia or whatever?" It's like, no, I'm discovering it now. There's like history here, like, and that's why I really liked it. But it was kind of like, what? Okay, But that wasn't recent. I mean, I'm trying to think of something more recent.
I got into Beyblade like a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
And I just bought a new pair of Heelys. So.
Oh, well, there you have it. Those are very good examples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a recent thing.
I mean, I've gotten into wrestling recently.
Oh, okay.
WWE, and that probably is for stunted children or stunted adults. And I still love comic books, and I love Disneyland.
Yeah.
I don't break it up that way, man. I think life, and I don't mean this like philosophically, but life is literally so short.
Yeah.
That you don't have. Why would you care? I mean,
that's
do
totally
shit
how I
you
feel
like,
too.
And because think about the person who's judging you. What a fucking weirdo! Like think the Super Bowl's about to happen, and they're going to be men and women, but primarily men all over the country wearing their stupid fucking jerseys, painting their stupid fucking faces, and acting like really you think the Patriots are going to lose? Come on, I can fucking write you a check if they lose, right? So ultimately, though, everybody's got their shit, and life's too short, and I just like the shit I like. And some of it I do think, like, people make fun of me. I love Taylor Swift. I love Katy Perry. I love top 40 pop music. People say, dude, that's for fucking tween girls. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you think. You're telling me that my brain is just wrong, you shame fucker, that I'm supposed to go out there and be like, I'm serious. Like, that's basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you like Taylor Swift, so something must be wrong with you?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I just saw the new Mary Poppins and I loved it.
I want to see that movie too.
I did too. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
But that's how that's always been my perspective too. I went through a short little in high school where I started to go like, okay, because I was like in on like Power Rangers like the day it came out from till now, whatever, and like more of the classic stuff, whatever. But there was a slight time in high school where I was like, oh, I better like hide that stuff. And then that lasted
dance parties in the hall, right?
Yeah, exactly. There. But that lasted like a minute, and then right out of high school, I met Garrett again, who's not here, and he had a huge like action figure collection, and I was like, yeah, I love collecting that stuff. Why did I stop? What the, and then I just went back. So I had a minute where I thought I had to hide that. And then it was like, yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, life's too short to like hate on that. It's like, do your thing.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm always chasing what's like new and exciting for me. And so like in the past year, I just got into comic books, like really dove into comic books. And like, I even said to my dad, and he's like, isn't that for kids? And I had to tell him like, within any medium, there's stuff that all ages can enjoy. Like, I'm just now tearing through Punisher Max, and it feels like, oh, this is something I would have loved as a teenager, but even though I'm older, I still fucking love it.
Yeah.
But because I make stuff too, I can appreciate it even better. I don't know, like,
you see Punisher now has War Machine's armor, and he's going around as the fucking Punisher, but wearing the goddamn Iron Man armor.
Is this in the comic?
Yeah, and there's a toy they just put out, and it's got the fucking Punisher skull, and you put the Iron Man mask down, it's got the skull. Yeah. It's like fucking Punisher with unlimited firepower. It's amazing.
Oh, that's great. There's good shit everywhere, but yeah, just like what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why would you ask that question? My assumption would be that something has happened in your life where you feel some sense of shame.
Well, like I said, I like got into Beyblade recently, and I just bought Heelys. Like I just bought them like last week.
Sure.
So you just feel like those are kind of things like it's weird. Maybe you just caught up on them now.
It's well, yeah, Beyblade, but I knew about Heelys forever, right? And I never owned them until now. And I was just thinking, like, wouldn't it be fucking cool if me as like a 28-year-old had Heelys?
Yeah.
So I just did it, and they're not that expensive, and I got them on Amazon. They're really easy to get. So, and I've been getting compliments on them, so that's cool.
Well, so there you go.
Yeah,
David, do you own any Heelys? Or?
No, I joking aside, I discovered minimalism about a year ago.
Oh yeah.
And I saw a movie about it called The Minimalist, and I got rid of all my video games. I got rid of most of my toys. The only thing I have are the stuff for my back wall for my stream as a set.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's very rare I buy anything anymore that's not, as much as I enjoy it, like that action figure I was telling you about, I would have run out and bought the Punisher action figure in the past. And now I just look at it on the internet. I'm like, that's cool. I appreciate it. But ultimately it's just going to collect dust and it's going to weigh me down. And so, I don't really buy a lot of stuff like that. I read comics and I watch a lot of movies and things, but I spend more of my money on services now instead of actual stuff.
That's it. Yeah, I'm like in an opposite place in my mind. My house looks like Toys R Us. That's where it went to die.
Oh, speaking of services, this is going to derail the question, but I would love to get your input on this. I just signed up for Xbox's Game Pass.
I hear it's great.
And I know there's PS Now. I have EA Origin, and that's like Brian and we're kind of doing that now where, I downloaded Forza. I'll play that for a month. If I get tired of it, whatever, I have something new. Do you see like the next generation more people embracing that? Do you have? I mean, I don't know. If
it's inevitable. I think ultimately you're always going to have some kind of physical version of games, just like you have vinyl still. But I saw the other day that Verizon, and we already know that Google, we already know that Sony, we already know that Microsoft are working on not just Game Pass stuff, but streaming services. Now Verizon just announced a service. We already know Google's working on it, and I think it was. It may have even been Netflix. It was a company you're like, what? They're going to get into making games? So, yeah, I think ultimately owning a physical copy of a game is going to be just for aficionados and collectors. Yeah. And I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. I think that's going to be. It's going
Yeah,
to make it's going to make the games better.
That's kind of where streaming, or I'm sorry, like music.
Yeah, Apple Music.
Music is in such a funny place now, and actually a lot of people like it. Where it's like, yeah, now people who care about a product enough will buy this awesome vinyl record package, and otherwise it's all stream. Like in your car, it's streaming. At home, you have this nice thing, and in your car, it's streaming. I feel like that's all media is going that way.
Yeah, I have Apple Music. I literally can drive in the car, and it's like, play. What the fuck did when I was writing? I said, I don't fucking know what it's called. It was called "Play Getaway Car" by Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
I don't own it.
Yeah,
it just is like boom, it's playing it.
There you go.
And I'm happy to trade that versus having stacks and stacks and stacks of fucking jewel cases of games I'm never going to fucking open again anyway. So,
but I do have a collector's mentality with the things that I'm really like feverish about. Like I was telling Kevin the other day is like when the new Daft Punk album came out, like I didn't care if I owned it physically or digitally necessarily when it came out. I just wanted the best quality version of it. But I loved that album so much that eventually they did put out like a couple $100 like fancy box, and I did get that, like, but I wouldn't do that for every album. And I do kind of hope that it continues where there's at least some kind of collector's thing for I know movies are going like all digital and all that stuff, but I would still love, like, when there's a huge movie, like if the new Star Wars rules, I would love to get like a physical thing.
When it comes to games and stuff, I only buy physical. I refuse to, unless it's digital only, then I'll get it then. But if there's a physical version, I will get that. Yeah, for sure, because that's really the only thing I collect is video games. I don't collect anything else.
That's your thing.
Hell yeah.
Well, there you go. What do you think?
Great. I only collect the only physical media I own is CDs that I got from Japan.
Oh, cool.
Okay, that is one thing I do like to do. Like when I go overseas, I like to find somewhere that has CDs and buy like 5, just like random stuff, like stuff that I'll never hear this otherwise.
Yeah, but it is a lot more convenient just using like maybe Google Play Music and just paying $10 a month to listen to whatever I want. So
yeah,
but yeah, thanks for taking my call, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Ultra Zord activate. Thank you very much.
All
right,
see you then,
David.
Oh. I don't know. He said something cool and we missed it. We'll take a couple more here. See what's happening. I already talked to them. Unless there is no one else, who knows? But of course, with Skype, literally who knows? Or not Skype, Discord. Literally, who does know? Because I have no clue how to find people on here. But we're doing our best. We are doing our best.
If you want to call in, I can drop the link in to get more people in. Oh, looks like that. Did we never talk
about
floating beanbag?
Oh,
let's try again.
Let's try again.
Floating beanbag. Floating beanbag. Nope.
Hello.
Hey.
Yo, you floated down the river.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Back.
Is it the background noise?
What?
No, it's good.
We're good.
You're good.
Okay.
What's up? What's the point of this call?
What's the point? Well, oh, what's pointing? But anyways, people were talking about streaming stuff beforehand. I don't know,
like. Wake up. What happened?
Well, no, just because I don't want to create a feedback loop, so I try not to follow the stream too much. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I hear you.
So it's this special guest, Frank Howley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck is this call about? The fuck are you talking about, dude?
Well, I'd like to talk about what you've been showing on stream for the last couple days. Some exquisite quality films. Found some nice Avengers movies. Like I can't believe you got your hand on Endgame already. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right. Well, I don't know what happened. The connection got loose or something. Brian, you can't touch those cables.
Oh, my finger slipped. Sorry. Oh, Brian, Jared's calling.
Brian, you can't touch those cables. Sorry. You play around with them all the time.
Jared Thorborn.
Thorborn.
What was up with that last guy? What the fuck? Anyway.
I don't know the connection. Brian, when he's up there, he's playing with the cables just for fun, and you know.
Oh, all right.
Anyway.
So I was wondering what, since it's still pretty new in the new year, I was wondering what David Jaffe's favorite games were from last year.
My favorite games were Return of the Obra Dinn, Dusk, Astrobot Rescue Mission on PSVR, Spider-Man on PS4.
That was my number one of last year, I think.
Spider-Man.
I think it was.
The Messenger. Those are the ones that come to mind. I have a whole, if you actually go to my YouTube channel, I did like a top 10, but those are, the number one was Return of the Obra Dinn. I've never played a game before that made me think that way, that made me play that way. And that's the thing, like I was saying earlier to someone else about the games I get excited about, like Resident Evil 2 is out. I played the demo. I know exactly what that game is. I've played that game 50 times before in other games. I'm sure they've got some wrinkles that are different, blah, 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 blah. I've been playing games since they were in the fucking arcades before Pac-Man, right? So I need something. Yeah. It's like porn. When you get, you look at enough porn, it needs to get weirder and weirder and weirder to have a fucking effect, right? So it's kind of the same thing with video games. You play video games enough and it's just kind of like, Return of the Obra Dinn comes out and I'm like, okay, that's a breath of fucking fresh air. I have never had a video game before require me to think that way and to express myself interactively that way. So that's my favorite game of last year.
No, oh, you know what? Notice what wasn't on the list. Oh, God of War. Drama.
I have not played
that. Was a secret diss.
No. I have a copy of it. Shannon sent me a beautiful.
Yeah, in the trash can. I totally got him.
Okay. I just can't play it. I have zero interest in playing that game. Not because I hear it's brilliant. I hear it's wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it.
I have such a weird relationship with the franchise that the way I always talk about it, it's kind of an old line, but when people ask me and the press has asked me, why haven't you played it? And it's like basically having one of your first loves come back into town with her new boyfriend. Yeah. And she's like, do you want to go to dinner with us? And it's like, no, I don't.
Why haven't you gone to dinner with them?
Right.
Nah. It's more like she wants to have a threesome with you. Because that game's good.
Thank you, Garrett, for that commentary.
I'm trying to figure out who is who and in the whole scenario there. So, you know, yeah.
I totally hear you. I'm just obviously playing around, but yeah. I think my favorite game of last year is still probably Spider-Man. I did get to Red Dead by the end of the year, and I did have I had a fantastic experience with it, but Spider-Man was like, I like my game. This is just me. I like my games a little more succinct. So like Red Dead, I played forever and it was great, but I'm like I'm like not done really, and you know I'm just. I think Spider-Man scratched that itch, and I thought it had like an emotional story, and I really liked it. So,
have you tried Tetris Effect yet?
Yes, it's fucking great.
Yeah, I loved Tetris. Yeah, I mean that was incredible. Brian, wasn't that like your favorite game last year?
That to me, like I've said it before, that to me is going to be like the game that I play forever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that can kind of fall into a year because it's a game that's been done a bunch of times before.
Yeah, Tetris is kind of ongoing.
To me, it's like it's a great analogy. It's like A Star Is Born. We've had a million of them before. The reason they're all great is because it's a great story.
Yeah.
And then this is the modern day version of it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, like Romeo and Juliet in the 90s had guns instead of daggers and swords.
Yeah.
They used VR and they optimized the fuck out of that experience.
Yeah.
Like if you are not playing Tetris Effect in VR on a PS4 Pro, you're not getting the right experience of that game.
Yeah.
Like 100%, that's a fact. It runs at 120 hertz, which is like, it's just beautiful. If I don't play it in the VR headset, I can notice the difference in input and lag.
Yeah.
Like it's really a totally different experience.
How funny.
Very surprised by that game, but I would agree with you guys. My game of the year last year was Spider-Man because it surprised me as a complete package. It came in and like hey, here's a great heartwarming story. Here's great game mechanics. Here's compelling reasons to continue to explore the world and collect things. And I never felt that fatigue that I normally get with open world games.
Yeah.
I was this close on my stream to making, if you know how you can explore and find the backpacks in Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah.
I found all the backpacks. One of them has Aunt May's wheat cake recipe in it.
Okay.
And I'm like, I should make that on the stream.
That'd be awesome.
To make the, because it tells you exactly how to fucking make them, man. I would love to.
That'd be awesome. What do you think, Jared? Would you watch that?
No.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Well, fuck you too.
Not much of a baking fan.
Oh,
but.
really?
Well, Jared, what do you think? Did you ever gamble on a fart, and just didn't go?
Fuck yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. He's a high roller,
Yeah.
No risk, no reward kind of guy.
Exactly.
That'd be great if there was a table at Vegas, like craps. It's literally the craps table. But you can make like double your money if it's like play craps and gamble on the fart. So you're basically seeing like little poof, poof.
It's
all
right
around
outside the buffet. So it's like, okay, what's next? All right, gamble. Oh, you lose. Out.
We can tell.
Yeah. Wait, turn around. Yep. Look. What do you think, Kevin?
That sounds like one of those shitty gambling casino games from Vegas Vacation.
Yeah,
at the end when they have to go to the worst casino.
Oh yeah,
that was one of the actually like that's a pretty good movie, but like the most underrated part of it was when they go to that terrible casino.
They go to the worst casino. It's the worst games,
and it's like, guess what hand is that one? No,
guess what number I'm thinking of? Stuff like that.
Yeah, 8. Nope. Oh man.
I met Chevy Chase coming out of Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
when
really?
I was in theaters. And
really?
Whoa.
I was in college, and this thing has gone on to become this Christmas classic. He probably makes more money per year in residuals off that than anything else. And he was such a dick.
Mm-hmm. That's all I've ever heard.
Fucking dick. I'm like, I'm a college kid with my dorm buddies. I'm like, hey man, I've loved all your movies since Seems Like Old Times.
Yeah.
We love this movie. I hope it does well for you. Yeah, whatever, kid, whatever. I mean, I'm like, fuck you, asshole. I mean, what is that?
How funny. I've always heard that. And, and like, there's a lot of people who won't hire him now because he's so difficult and such an ass,
That's what Kevin Smith and Dan Harmon said, right?
Yeah, a lot of people, not just him. I mean, it's been a lot of people. But talking about like getting payment, getting paid for being in a Christmas movie and all that stuff. Is it Dennis Quaid? The guy,
Randy Quaid's the brother.
Randy Quaid.
He's the one who's the cousin Eddie.
Yeah, cousin Eddie. I always mix him up. But anyway,
he went
that actor, he said, because he hasn't been in a movie in forever, and they asked him like, what are you doing for a living now? What do you do? And he said every Christmas he gets $500,000. Like he gets a check after every Christmas he gets a check $500,000, and he's like, yeah, I live off that. That's pretty much it. It's like, okay.
I was talking to the Lyft driver on the way over here because he found out I worked in video games, and I was just like, it's the only industry where there's not like guaranteed residuals, so people can go and play the games we worked on, decades ago, and you see nothing, which is fine. I mean, we weren't contracted to have that experience, so I don't have any ill will towards it. But yeah, the idea that you could have been in a handful of movies back in the day and you're living off that's still amazing.
Like for the rest of
amazing.
And that's specifically the thing I always hear is specifically Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of them, they will always rerun them.
Or All I Want for Christmas from Mariah Carey. She's probably just,
oh my gosh. But it's so funny with Christmas movies, even like the bad ones get reran into hell. Like, does anyone out there like Christmas with the Cranks? Does anyone like that movie?
I've never seen it.
No, never seen it.
I don't think anyone on earth actually is like, well, I'm actually a very big fan of that. No, I honestly think everyone hates it. They still replay it every year over and over.
I saw the Kurt Russell movie this year where he played Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Fuck, he was awesome.
Really? That was I kept meaning to watch it.
He was awesome. The movie itself was decent, but give him some fucking guns. I saw him in, I had never seen Hateful Eight either, so I watched that recently.
Yeah, I did too, just recently.
It's great, right?
I really loved it.
Fucking movie.
I haven't seen the Santa Claus movie, but he looks like the same character from Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
like,
kind of does.
He looks identical.
It's similar, but boy, I'll tell you, Hateful Eight, man, what a great, I heard that wasn't great, and I caught it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that movie's good.
It's so funny because I've always gone back and forth with Tarantino. Like, there's a lot of his stuff that I just was kind of like, yeah, maybe this is not my thing, or maybe he's kind of like tapping into a genre where I feel like I've already seen this done better. Yeah, like I want him to do his own thing, and maybe I'm not. There's just a million things I go back and forth on with him. But yeah, so I never saw Hateful Eight because I kept hearing like, dude, boring, dude, it's totally boring. And it's like, no, that was what I did want from him, which is like this fucking play, you know, in that time and that place. And I thought it was fantastic.
And the thing that almost broke my minimalism was I found Hateful Eight doll action figures online.
Quentin Tarantino,
this
director?
close to getting the Kurt Russell one
and
the Samuel Jackson one because they're super detailed and they're wearing cloth outfits and shit. And like, Jaffe, don't fucking do it. They'll just collect us. But
there's also a Quentin Tarantino, the director, action figure.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. There was some thing with, because I know the company that makes, I think those are all made by NECA, the toy company. They made because they always made all the way the God of War figures back all the way, I think, from the first one till now, I think. But they did figures for Django Unchained. And I think they had to get pulled right away.
It was like last minute,
Yeah, what was the deal with that? Like
$350, you can get them on eBay now. I looked them up the other day.
So I was gonna say, our friend, I think Jason Cryer, I think he had the full set. He was like one of the few people I know that like immediately got the full set. And then all of that went down where it was like all of a sudden everyone pulled it, and then it was like, I think he eBayed I think he made a pretty penny.
And it was horseshit too, because we actually did talk about specifically the Django Unchained action figures on the stream like a week ago. And I was looking up, why were these banned? What the fuck was the story there? And it literally was just some people said, well, you're playing with dolls that are slaves. I'm like, dude, it's Django. He's the baddest ass motherfucker in the world.
I mean,
basically
finish the
frees
movie,
the fucking slaves, you know? But so I don't know why. It makes no fucking sense to me they were banned, but they were cool figures.
People got mad at Breaking Bad toys at Toys R Us. Remember that?
To bring that up, it's like sometimes things just catch on. Like one aspect of it will catch on, and then it's like, ooh, okay, no one wants to sell them now because that. Breaking Bad. It was it was one of the figures had the bag of blue meth or whatever, and it was like. It just caught on. That just became a meme into itself, and then it was like, yeah, okay, no one can sell those. You know,
what alien toy had a super phallic thing in it, and they put the exclusive Toys R Us sticker over it?
Perfect. So that's a perfect example of the opposite, where when something doesn't catch on, is they did a Toys R Us exclusive Prometheus. You ever see the movie Prometheus?
Loved it.
Prometheus came out, and the exclusive at Toys R Us was a 2-pack. Sorry if you never saw the movie. At the end of the movie, one of the big engineer guys, the big white-looking, big tall dudes, gets attacked by the squid thing, and it attacks him, and it like puts tentacles down its throat, and like it impregnates him with an alien, basically. The Toys R Us exclusive, that thing, it was done perfectly, like detailed to the movie. It's a giant dick, like that thing that goes into his throat is a penis. Like that is what it looks like in the movie if you really look. And that's what the toy is. So if it was in a clamshell box and they put a Toys R Us exclusive sticker over the head of the dick, basically. And so once you take it out, it's like, wait, what? This was a Toys R Us exclusive? Like Toys R Us did this? Like, it was like shocking to take it out. And again, no bad press, no nothing. Nobody going like, why is this being sold? Nothing. But then at that same time, the Breaking Bad thing happened. And it was also, like, what? Is that toy meth? And it just, it's like something catches on.
There was a toy at Christmas called, it was a game. It was called Cut the Wire. And it was, it was 4 sticks of dynamite. And a timer, and I thought it was brilliant, and they banned it. Toys R Us got rid, not Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, Amazon, they just stopped carrying it. It was a fucking game where kids get to defuse a fucking bomb. I'm like, that's awesome, and they're like, no, it's going to make kids. They said that kids already have to worry about real bombs all day long. I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Shooting, yes. Why don't you stop selling your fucking guns, Walmart?
Yeah, really.
But they don't worry about sticks of dynamite like Boris and Natasha, sir. They know, they really don't.
Yeah.
But,
Disney won't make Slave Leia figures anymore, right? That's the other thing.
They never said that, but there's always been there's like a lot of behind the scenes talk that maybe they slowly like stopped.
Let me ask you a question about Slave Leia. I've always wondered this because I saw Jedi when I was it's very formative, like 12, maybe?
Sure.
Was that right? 6th grade?
Yeah.
And so I never understood what how much of the appeal or does it depend on the person? Because it was always like, was it the fact that she's in a bikini, or is it the S&M aspect to it? Like, what is the part that offends people like Disney?
Oh, offends people? Well, I don't know.
Because why would they ban that? Is because it's in this fucking movie?
Again,
It's the name slave.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that I mean, they never outright said they were doing that, but I do think that it's probably just that like she's like they force her into that outfit and chain her to a thing. I think it's just kind of like
so it's more of what it reflects at the story.
It's kind of ooky, you know. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's probably. I would think. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of other like sexy characters in all kinds of stuff, but
right.
I think it maybe
like there's the dancing girl in Jabba's thing, Keely. What's her
Yeah.
name with the weird hair?
Oh yeah, what is
you know?
it?
And they make a figure about her. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But where were we talking about?
Fast food.
But yeah.
But no, we were talking about games from last year.
Yeah,
we got
right.
we got to this somehow.
There was something I was going to say about the figures or Hateful Eight or something. I can't remember.
Oh, cool thing about Hateful Eight is Frank even told me about this. It's Quentin Tarantino made everybody watch John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh yeah, like the whole like the key source of that film was he wanted to make like The Thing, and so he made everyone in the cast watch it. And yeah, if you watch The Thing, it's like oh, there's so and again Kurt fucking Russell. Yep, Kurt Russell. So,
Have you seen it before?
Yeah. But yeah, I think he made Kurt Russell rewatch it. Like no, study this again just in case.
I think The Thing is, you know, that movie is. I'm not going to say it's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, or I don't even know if it'd be in my top 20. I mean, you know, no disrespect to it, but there's just a lot of movies I love. However, that's one of the only movies that I would call perfect. Like in terms of like execution, you know what I mean? That I just think that movie is like on every level is like, yeah, that was like perfect. Like even movies in my top 10 I would not say are perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But like that movie to me, it's just like, oh my gosh, how, you know.
There's a PS2 game they made of that.
Yeah, which I heard was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was
really?
very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
It was very, again, it kind of reminds me of Oberdin in that it asked you to think differently. You had to look at these AI characters and really start to figure out who is the guy in the team that's infected right now. With,
awesome.
You know, and you're not used to a third-person shooter asking for that level of thought and that type of thought. It's pretty cool.
Did you like Metal Gear Solid 5 for that? Did you play it?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
I played 4 and I never played 5 because it looked boring because it was a big open world game.
I feel like
And the cutscenes, and the fucking cutscenes. I love Metal Gear is one of my favorite IPs of all time, but I cannot handle Kojima's fucking obsession with. I mean, when I got to the end of 4, there were more endings than goddamn Lord of the Rings. It was just like, I'm not joking. It was just like, dude, wrap it the fuck up.
5 has the least amount of cutscenes of any game. It's more gameplay than any other Metal Gear game, and I think that's what alienated most of the fan base.
Okay.
That's why it gets some negative reviews. It allows you to really explore the world in a way that's really fun.
Okay, cool.
Guided, and then it goes, enjoy it.
Nice. I'll give it a look. I haven't played it.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest open world guy, but I really liked Metal Gear 5. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a good mix, but that's just me. Anyway, Jared,
Yeah.
thank you for your call.
Thank you as always.
No problem. See ya.
Take care.
Yep.
Okay. Any you know, let's see.
Give us something good. Give us something with some fucking
call in again.
spice.
There you go. Got Tylon the Ninja.
Jesus.
Tylon the Ninja. Throw some spice on it.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Are you ready to throw some spice on it?
Throw some spice? Yeah, what kind of spice you want?
I mean, just light it up.
Light it up?
Yeah.
All right.
Like light that ass on fire.
Light that ass on fire. All right. So we're throwing the Franks red hot out the window. Forget the sriracha. We're going straight to the habanero.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had a question, it's not really a hot question, more of a cold question. Mr. Jaffe, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Jesus.
It's called Fuck You Ice Cream.
Is that new Ben and Jerry's?
My favorite flavor is a cross between either French vanilla or probably like cookie dough or some such shit.
You're spicing it up. This was a spicy question.
That's a spicy.
We're getting controversial here.
This is going outside ice cream. I love frozen yogurt. Yogurtland has like the Rocket Pop, like 4th of July flavor, which is kind of like
cool.
It's kind of like a blue raspberry flavor, whatever. I get that, and I put a little bit of strawberry yogurt in there, and then I put some gummy bears on top, and the little like boba balls at Yogurtland. That's my shit. I love Yogurtland. It's
Dude,
fun.
Yogurtland has straight up. I don't know if you've seen this, Kevin. They have straight up frozen custard in some of their machines.
I saw that. I haven't
the
gotten it
hell?
yet, but they moved to ice cream and now they have custard now.
That's too far, man.
Going nuts.
Nope.
They have a Butterfinger
Options.
flavor, but that was like too much for me.
Oh, was it?
It was like, oh, this.
I kind of want to try.
Yeah, damn. It's worth trying. It's worth trying. I always appreciate that they always have something new in there.
You know, with me with ice cream, I don't like overly complicated ice cream with like too many things in it, but like, I mean, cookie dough. You know, you can't fuck with that.
I like anything with peanut butter cups in it.
Yes, or that. Exactly.
Moose Tracks ice cream's good. Whatever that is, it has
That
like
is
a
good.
ton
It's
of
fudge
shit in it.
and there's like 3 different things mixed in. It's pretty good.
I typically don't. I'm not anti mint chip. I like mint chip. Don't get me wrong, but that's not the one I normally get.
Yeah.
You know, but around Christmas time at Disneyland, when it's Christmas time, they do peppermint stick ice cream.
Ooh, that sounds pretty
And it's pink basically because they just grind up the peppermint sticks.
Does it still
into
cut up your tongue?
Well, so it's that the ice cream is totally.
Yeah.
It's not that chunky. That's
Yeah.
smooth, but you can get it in. You know, they make a handmade cone right in front of you, and they dip it in chocolate, and they put crushed up peppermint stick all over it.
Yeah.
That cuts the shit out of your tongue, man. You lick that thing, and it's like a broken glass, like nightmare. It's like
yeah, that's called that's called the mini's vagina. That's what I think they call that.
Yeah,
It's
there's
special. You have to know how to ask for
Yeah,
it.
you have to. It's a secret menu kind of thing, like In and Out.
Yeah.
Is he okay? Tylon, are you all right? Are you at work?
He said vagina. Hang up now.
Tylon, are you all right? I hope you're okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was parking my car.
Oh, no
You were
worries.
driving?
I'm glad we have your undivided attention, sir.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
He's on his way to get ice cream. He wanted to know what tips.
Searcher says you got a little mini vag in your tongue there, sir. Yeah, exactly.
I heard mini vag and then it cut out for a sec and then yeah.
That's right. That was
Well,
the
yeah,
devil.
I guess you'll never know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, did you see for a while they were testing at Disneyland the costumes that actually had the mouth?
Yeah, blinky eyes and mouth and stuff.
I think they kept the blinky eyes, right? But they got rid of the mouth. They said it was freaking people out, right?
They've gone back and forth on that, but occasionally they'll still have like a meet and greet where they suddenly all talk again. Like
That's so weird.
I feel
They'll
like
bring
they're
them out every
still-
once in a while.
Yeah, they had a regular thing at Disney World in Florida. When you would go onto their main street, there was a place you could go, and Mickey would consistently was talking there, and then just recently they stopped. So yeah, just no one really knows what's going on with that. I think a lot of that is being developed. I think a lot of that is going to emerge with that Star Wars expansion.
Yeah,
because I know you are. I mean, you're definitely going to encounter like aliens with like
robots and stuff.
Yeah, prosthetic or like animatronic heads or something. You know that'll.
Did you ever see the trash can at California Adventure that was RC trash can?
Yeah.
I
love
they
that
got rid of it. I never seen it anymore, but it was
the company
really
that made that. I think their license was up or something like that, and they pulled it back.
Oh, it was really cool. It would
It was.
follow you around
Yep.
and
Yeah.
shit. I mean, it was like a fucking trash can.
Just recently, not that long ago, in Tomorrowland, they had they were straight up testing a Star Wars droid. Like it was
really?
an actual and it was like doing all that same kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
talking to people and stuff.
That's great.
And they were saying like, yeah, they're testing a lot of little things. Even there was a thing they did in Frontierland recently where it was almost like a scavenger hunt, like in Frontierland, a cowboy would like go up to someone and be like, "Hey, take this badge to someone at the other end of Frontierland, and they'll give you something," And then people were kind of like, "Oh, should I do it? Should I keep it?"
That's cool.
That kind of stuff. And I've heard from a lot of people behind the scenes that was all like Star Wars test stuff.
Yeah.
Because they really want Star Wars to be like a fucking RPG.
That's
like
super
they
Westworld,
when that area opens up, they want it to be like a bounty hunter walks up to you and says like, "Hey, don't tell anyone you have this chip, and I'll give you a reward at the end of the day." And
That's
then
awesome.
you'll run into a position where like people will come up to you like, "Hey, did someone hand you something?" And it's like, "Oh, do I tell them?" Or
That's
do I?
cool.
You know, like
Very cool.
now
Very,
what
very
I'm
cool.
curious about though is how is that gonna stick? Like, is that gonna happen and stick around? Because I could easily see somebody, someone's gonna fuck that up.
Yeah.
Like someone's gonna be like, I don't know, this bounty hunter came, so I shot him. Or something's gonna happen where it's like, okay, you ruined that for everybody. So
It's like, I don't know if you ever played D&D. I didn't play it much, but it was always like that. Like I wanted to play it seriously. I wanted to role play. I wanted to get lost in the fantasy. And all your friends are just like, "Oh yeah, the wizard chick comes. Let me see her tits." And it's like, Dude, come on, play right, man. You know, I totally can see that.
The very
getting rid of
slippery
it.
slope.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you for the call, Tylon.
Yeah. Thank you. Enjoy your
Yeah, thanks, man.
Enjoy that. I'm assuming they drove to Baskin Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do like, let's do like maybe like a, what do you think? Should we do like a final call, a cool like final call?
Yeah.
Let's do like a badass final
Yeah,
call,
just need
grand
someone to call
finale.
in,
Yeah, as
or-
long as somebody's calling
yeah.
in. If nobody's calling in, then that's the end of the story right there.
Quick question: What are some of your favorite comics? If you just had to recommend, because I'm still new.
That
so
are
there's a lot
out
of new
right
shit.
now or
just
historically?
all time?
I
Like,
mean, if you haven't read Old Man Logan,
What is- is that
but
Wolverine?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, unless you don't know much about Wolverine, it may not resonate. But the
Okay.
gist of it is, it takes place in the future. If I remember this correctly, America has fallen, and a lot of America has been split up by like the supervillains. So like Doctor Doom has a section,
cool.
Magneto has a section. Wolverine, I want to say, had some awful tragic thing happen to him, and he's living out in the desert. And Hawkeye shows up and says, "We have to deliver this case of something to San Francisco or whatnot." And it's this road trip set like in an apocalyptic version of the Marvel universe.
That's
50
kind.
years.
That's kind of what the movie was,
It,
right?
it
Isn't
was.
that what-
It had hooks in there.
Yeah.
That is great. I think the Batgirl series that's out right now is great.
Okay.
You know, I mean, there's so many good
Yeah.
comics out right now.
I
It's a
I
good
read
time.
Preacher last year, and that
Preacher's
blew
great.
me away.
Preacher's
and
fucking
that's
great.
what got me into Ennis's Punisher Max. I'm following that trail.
Preacher, the scene I'm trying to get, there's Hitman and
Yeah.
Preacher, which Ennis was doing at the same time. Was Preacher the one where the guy fucked the meat?
Yes.
That
yes.
was the craziest
Yes.
fucking thing, where if you don't know, good people of the stream, there's this crazy motherfucker in Preacher, and he's insane, and he keeps going into this warehouse, right? And it's like, no, don't interrupt me. Leave me alone. Don't ever fucking come in there. He's like some powerful crime guy. And finally, at the end, you go in there, and he's not wearing a stitch of clothing, and he's constructed this woman out of basically salami and beef and
Dead cows and
dead
everything, yeah.
cows, and he's fucking this giant, probably 15-foot woman made out of rotting meat. And you're just going, you know what? Life is good. Comics are good.
Right?
Give
Comics
us-
kick ass.
Yeah,
Preacher's amazing.
Yeah, Garth Ennis is fucking great. He's got a new series coming out called The Boys, I
heard of
think,
that, but
on
I haven't-
Amazon,
yeah. Okay.
which is about superheroes, but what if they were like Instagram stars?
Oh.
And it looks pretty interesting.
Hell yeah.
Looks interesting.
It's a take on his book. Did you read the book, The Voice?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a take off of that. He wrote that, I think, 2006 or 7. I want to say is when he started The Voice.
Okay.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. That's what's like. I love comics, but holy shit, there's so much out there. But
Yeah.
you know, I got a lot of time to dig into it.
Well, yeah, well, I'm gonna do that too. Well, hey, but we're gonna take. Oh, well, we had a last caller, and I let them hang too long. Maybe they're not here anymore. But I wanted to say in the meantime, thank you again for watching all our streams
Yeah.
and stuff this week. And I want to let everyone know, in case you didn't know, we put up a rare MLK Week exclusive shirt. It's only up 72 hours less now. And you can go to shop.mega64.com and pick it up. It's the Math Rocks shirt. You know, everyone loves math, great subject, but the Math Rocks shirt is only up the next couple days, and then it's gone. It's a rare shirt just for the people watching here. So scope that out, check it out, pick it up if you didn't get a chance. That, you know, if you enjoyed the stream, do that, or, you know, give us a Twitch Prime sub, or check out our Patreon. I mean, there's a million things you could do. However you want to do it, we appreciate it. Okay, let's get a grand finale call. And of course, obviously, thank you, David, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Out of
Enjoy it.
nowhere, just, I mean, we didn't even invite him. We were having burritos, and he was like, yo, what are you guys up to? What are you doing? What's
Pretty
that?
much. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
No, it was really, thank you,
Yeah,
honestly.
no, I had a great time. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, Alan John, you have the final call. Do something insane.
Hey, first of all, I want to apologize to
Wow.
David.
Off to a great start, killing it out the gate.
Yeah, my comments that I made in the chat, they were immature. They were bad. I should have not said those things. You are a very talented man, Mr. Jaffe. I really enjoy your work. I bought my PS4 just for God of War. That was a great game. Thank you very much.
I didn't work on it, but I'll let the team know.
All right.
Come on,
and,
sir.
yeah.
Look. What's your name? Alan John. Alan John. You look like Tommy Tallarico from here, but Alan John.
I thought that.
Right?
Yep.
Alan John, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
You have to think about it? You don't know if you're married? Okay. What woman?
No, I said no. I'm not married. No.
Okay. What are you into, the lady folk or the male folk?
Ladies.
Okay. I'm just asking. What famous lady, if you could marry, if Rocco could make it happen, he's a man of great influence.
Yeah, there you go.
If he could hook you up on a blind date with a famous lady that we would know who she is, who would it be?
Right.
Captain Hogwash says Sally Struthers. Fuck you. Who would it be, sir?
Emma Watson.
Okay.
Oh,
Good
dude,
for you.
Wildland's
That's all right.
amazing.
Yeah, I can see that. All right. Yeah, I got nothing. I was going to make fun of you, but no, yeah, absolutely. Good taste, sir. Rocco, can you do that?
I'll make it happen.
There you go.
Boom.
Yeah, I do.
Where would you
Thank
take
you
her
so
on your
much,
first
Rocco.
date? Where would you go?
I want to say Disneyland. I don't know why.
Nice.
This guy's a winner. I was going to mock him and shit.
Yeah, it's
No,
not
you're
really
classy.
anything.
You're giving good answers.
You rule.
I was gonna say Hogwarts Universal, but I don't think that'd work.
Yeah, I know.
Guys
She'd
should
be
be
like,
sick
God,
of
no
that.
flash.
Nah, that's
Too
stupid.
many tourists.
Do you actually look the way you look in your picture, or is that some famous dude?
Pretty much.
Pretty much what?
Yeah, I look kind of like that if I wear
The
glasses.
fuck does that mean? Is that
Yes.
you in the picture, sir?
No, that's a cartoon image of something.
Okay. Well, then, I was going to compliment you and say it must be nice to be so good looking because you look like a fucking rock star in your picture, but now you're like a cartoon.
Now we don't know.
Now we got nothing. Sir,
No,
this has
that's
been
a
great.
shame.
This has been
Well,
great.
thanks.
Did you have a comment or a question like grand finale statement?
Yes, because I actually did lose a gamble on a fart or whatever it is. Is that supposed to mean like I wanted to fart, but instead I shit my pants? Is that what a gamble on a fart is?
Sure.
Yeah, I've had that a lot of times, especially after Taco Bell.
Bring it back to fast food. Yeah.
Man.
Whoa, he's good. He's really
This
good.
guy's good. Bookending the whole thing.
Boom.
You're checking out where the horse bit you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for this grand finale call.
This is like the back.
I'm just glad there's no beef between me and David. I'm glad we sorted that out.
We had what? We did what?
We had beef.
Who the fuck are you? You actually think I know who you are and we had beef?
Yeah, earlier today in the chat, you called me out.
Dude, I can't remember 10 minutes ago. I've been high for this whole fucking stream. You think I remember what the fuck we were talking about earlier in the stream? That must be wonderful to have such a sense of ego.
Okay. I guess.